we continue to celebrate in our Big Breakfast broadcast the heritage of South Africa's most incredible talents. Now, you'll forgive me for reading, but as I did earlier on with respect to Lebo M's illustrious career, we're going to do exactly the same for the Queen herself, Ms. Sandra Prinsloo, who happens to be sitting here in studio. Her career spans over 4 decades. That's my life.
It's a whole life.
Yeah, word. Her stage and film career spans over 40 years. In this time, she's performed leading female roles, the whole time, leading lady, in the plays of renowned international dramatists and of local South African playwrights, over 100 different productions to date. She's also established a reputation as an incredible actress in many countries, including England, France, Germany, and the United States. Never mind South Africa. She became internationally known thanks to her portrayal of the teacher Kate Thompson in The Gods Must Be Crazy, alongside Marius Weyers. In 1985, she and our next guest and fellow actor John Kani caused an audience walkout when performing the play Miss Julie by August Strindberg. In the title role, Prinsloo played a white woman seducing a black man in 1985. Uncomfortable back then, I imagine. The play marked the first on-stage occurrence of a black man kissing a white woman under the apartheid regime, and hence the walkout. It was speculated that the walkouts were planned beforehand by conservative whites. Later on, she was in the original cast of Egoli, Place of Gold, the special one, South Africa's first and most special, I think, soap opera. Her broader contribution to the South African film industry was acknowledged by the Blue Fountain Club of Soweto, who granted her an award for her contribution to the black film industry in South Africa. For many years, she hosted her own talk show, Raak Praat, met Sandra. She has also conducted a series of interviews with personalities and celebrities on Sandra op het Rafstad. And today, still busy as ever, kicking off rehearsals for a brand new play, Die Moeder, based on the French play La Mère.
Yes.
Tell us all about that, and welcome to Breakfast with Refilwe. I think a round of applause.
Thank you. Well, I can't tell you very much about it, except that I've been learning lines like a mad person in Germany, because we've just been to Germany with The Life and Times of Michael Kay, the Baxter production.
That's right.
Yeah, and so every bit of spare time I had, I was learning lines, because we have very little rehearsal period because of my being away.
Right.
For Die Moeder.
Yes.
And it is 90 pages, and I'm on every page. So
it's hard being a leading lady. Or a leading star in general, I imagine.
Right.
So many lines to learn. So, first of all, thank you so much for being here this morning. You, as you mentioned, you were in Germany and you literally got in last night.
Well, yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning. Okay, so we appreciate the time, particularly given the fact that you've got so much to pay attention to. Let's talk a little bit about 40 years of being Sandra Prinsloo in this particular industry. We often have, even to this day in 2022, when we feel as though, I suppose, gender stereotypes are not necessarily as strong as they used to be, you still hear lead actresses speaking about the difficulty of either not being typecast or necessarily getting the big meaty roles. And yet in 40 years, I feel as though every role of yours has been a meaty, really great scripted, textured character. Did you ever experience a time when you felt as though I'm not getting the role that I want, or did you dive right into it?
No, I think I've been extremely lucky, extremely fortunate, because when I started off my career, and I joined one of the arts councils, the PACT, Performing Arts Council, the Afrikaans company. The other actresses who were slightly older than me were all pregnant, so
lucky break.
Well, lucky break, hugely lucky break. So I was actually sort of stepped up a bit, you know, and I had to work jolly hard, of course. But I think I've been extremely fortunate in that I've had a variety of roles, you know. I suppose my work on the whole is more on the serious side, you know, but I have also done farce and comedies, and and the characters have been extremely varied,
yes,
which is of course wonderful and challenging for an actress. So I think I have been fortunate, but I've also sought the parts, you know, that tend to be more complex than
than
others. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing about an actor is your last performance is your calling card.
Yeah.
But we were speaking a little bit earlier on with Lebu M about the business of, for example, music. And I think sometimes we don't consider the business of theatre, acting, and staying a working actor, as you know, for 40 years plus, is...
It's actually 50.
What?
Yeah.
Can I just have a round of applause for your face? So I'm just curious, you know, how much of it at the beginning is the agent, and how much of it is just pounding the pavement as an actor?
Well, it's it's an interesting question that you asked me, because I don't know if anyone's seen the series on Netflix called what is it? The French series.
The French one. About Agents. The Agents. It's amazing.
Yes,
it's an amazing show.
Fabulous
Yes.
show. But there you actually see the agents really sort of are involved in the actors' lives. Because I think here, because our industry is so much smaller, because we don't command the fees that they command there, agents can't really get that involved. I mean, they do. They help you with this and that, but it's not. It's
a
not,
phone call.
It's not
really.
the same thing. So I think, and nowadays it's quite difficult to know. Again, I was lucky when I was young. I was in theatre. I was in a company, so I didn't have to pound pavements or phone people. Right. I had work, and when television came, I was called. I was, you know, again.
Oh, okay. Director's choice.
Yeah, so I was lucky in so many ways that I didn't have to, because I think nowadays it's quite difficult for actors. I mean, our young actors have to be very aware of what's going on and be there, you know. But luckily they've got social media now, which makes it so much easier.
It does democratize the process.
Yeah. So that I think makes it more accessible. And then, of course, they now do self-tapes. You know, you used to have to go in for an audition. You don't have to go in for an audition now. Actors just do the audition on their cell phones and send it in, which I find absolutely frightening. But anyway,
Okay, so that's a very interesting take on this. I mean, so you've seen the evolution of the industry itself, and there's so much more now to acting than just acting and learning lines and being a thespian craftswoman or craftsman.
Yeah.
I now have to think about how many followers. I have to think about, you know, whether I look great on a red carpet. I have to think about my glam squad, you know. So I hear that the part where you say that it's democratized the process and it's making it easier for actors, but have we spiked the Kool-Aid a little bit? I mean...
Well, that's what worries me. Yeah. You know, I think that... having so many followers just because you're a social platform person and put yourself out there doesn't say anything about your talent or your experience. So I think that's where it becomes unfair again towards actors who don't like being on social media that much, you know, because, I mean, it is a two-edged sword.
Not only that, it also seems to be that it's kind of corrupted the seeking of talent, because now a movie maker or a stage director is saying, I want to get bums and seats.
Yeah.
So if you've got lots of followers, I don't care if you're not a great actor.
Absolutely. I mean, not all directors work like that, of course, luckily.
It's the
and the kind of directors
actually.
I want to work with don't work like that. So,
yes.
So that's fortunate. But I hear what you're saying, Refilwe, and I think you're absolutely right that it does put a strange slant on the business, maybe.
One of the directors that you're working with happens to be the one who's directing Die Moeder, Christian Olvagen. Tell us a little bit about working with him.
Oh, Christian. He is just the most marvelously talented young director. I love working with him because he really pushes you. He pushes you into areas where I've wanted to kill him. I mean, because it's so demanding and so difficult. But I love the way he looks at a play in a very different way. He doesn't have a conventional approach to a play, which makes you have to deliver a very unconventional performance.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that. I mean, because I think every actor loves a director that challenges you, unless you're very lazy, you know. And Christian really does. He's And he's extraordinarily talented in that he's fantastic as a theatre director, he's fantastic as a film director. He can write. Yes, and he just has an eye that is so precise.
That's incredible. I'm so excited to welcome our next guest, and you have to bear with me. I'm doing another read because, again, the South African heritage, the talent of our country is so rich, and there's so much to discuss about each of our guests. From the humble beginnings of performing in an old zoo snake pit to the screens and stages of the world, John Kani is a homegrown legend. He began his career in the 70s, and it's been on a rocket-like trajectory ever since. With a variety of roles under his belt, he embodies the creativity and dedication to a role that few who practice his craft can boast. From Master Harold and the Boys, see, I remember that one, to Othello, from A Dry White Season to Black Panther, yeah, he's part of the Marvel Universe. From Nothing But the Truth to Kunene and the King, he is a force to be reckoned with on stage and behind the character. He won a Tony Award in 1975 for Sizwe Banzi is Dead, which ran for 159 performances, and The Island. In 2002, Nothing But the Truth was his debut as sole playwright, and it went on to win the 2003 Fleur du Cap Awards for the Best Actor and Best New South African Play. Also in 2003, he was awarded a special Obie Award for his extraordinary contribution to theatre in the United States. In 2016, he received the National Order, the Order of Ikamanga in silver, for his excellent contributions to theatre, and through this, the struggle for a non-racial, non-sexist, and democratic South Africa. Perhaps one of his biggest and probably most exciting things to be shared with you is sharing the stage with Ms. Sandra Prinsloo in Soere Miss Daisy, or Driving Miss Daisy in Afrikaans. Mr. John Kani, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, and help.
A round of applause for you, sir. I know you most recently as I cried when you played T'Chaka in Black Panther and when you met T'Challa on the plane. And as I recall, you insisted to the director that isiXhosa be spoken properly in that movie. Tell us how that conversation went down.
Well, we were filming in the Atlanta. That's where the studios were. It was Captain America, Civil War.
Right.
We had just finished the scene. It was me and Scarlett Johansson and Chadwick. We're talking about an incident that King T'Chaka is very sad about. The bravenium, this kind of powerful mineral that Wakanda produces, has been stolen. And then she leaves, Scarlett Johansson. And then I start saying to my son, according to the script, I miss you, my son. I haven't seen you for a long time. Just as I'm saying the line. And then I ask, we're both from Africa. We're both from Wakanda. I haven't seen my son for a long time. Why would we speak English? And then
great question.
And then they said, well, you can make it up. You know that Tarzan language? Waka wuka ukanta kwankwa. And with wonderful, they didn't care what I was saying. It's like, then there's the subtitles. I said, why don't I speak my language to him? And then Chadwick says, yes, Baba. I thought, okay. He had done a movie in Cape Town. And then he picked up a few of the Xhosa words. Apparently, the people that worked with him in this movie in Cape Town even gave him a name as Mkolisi. So he said to me, I'm Kolisi. I said, no, Mkolisi. So the director asked, what would you say? I'd say, that then was the declaring of isiXhosa as Wakanda's indigenous language.
Incredible. Thanks for doing that. Okay, so before I get too far down the line, sorry, Mr. Kani, we've got Ms. Prinsloo in studio with us this morning, and I wondered if you would like to say good morning.
Hello, John.
Miss Cathy, who handed me your...
Who did with jou, my skat.
Oh my liewe Here.
Ek mis jou.
Ek mis jou baie ook, jong.
Well, it's just special. So a beautiful thing there, like you did with Xhosa, is naturally you'd go to a language that is in your heart.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I grew up in Port Elizabeth, Gqeberha, stroke, aka Gqeberha.
Yeah.
And my parents always listened to the radio. But it was always Afrikaans, because my mom spoke Afrikaans, my father spoke incredible Afrikaans. My younger brother was a high school teacher before he became Reverend Kani, teaching Afrikaans. My wife, Mandy, taught Afrikaans at high school. So I've been surrounded by this language and these people.
So it's home. It's home. And thank goodness by Sandra.
And by Sandra, we had a great time. Absolutely. We saw Rainy Stacy.
It was such fun, John?
People are still asking, well, when are you bringing it to Joburg?
When are you bringing it to Joburg?
Yes, we should. Huh?
We should.
I'm going
I will
to talk to
speak
Sarki
the people
today.
I know, and Sandra will speak to the people she knows.
Yes, good. We'll do that.
Incredible. I'm only sad that you're not with us in person. Next time, when I win the 376 million, I'll fly you down. But there's a lot going off today. But we wish we had you in studio with us. But wonderful to hear your voice. I wanted to ask a little bit, from legends like Ms. Prinsloo to the late Chadwick Boseman, and then you just so nonchalantly threw in there, Scarlett Johansson, etc., like the people that you just work with. Tell us a little bit about, sharing the stage and screen with such huge personalities and still being visible as well.
You see, Hollywood works like a military structure. Once you are cast in the principal's level, everybody then, and we know each other through our work, and the director and producers know you. And then working with these people become normal. Because there is no airs, no pretentiousness, no playing star, because we are all who we are. And that's why we were given these roles in this particular project. The problem starts with the number twos, the wannabes, the ones that just made a breakthrough, the ones that walk around the set with 3 attendants to 4 attendants, the one that demands a bigger caravan and a bigger trailer because it shows who they are. I remember that wonderful lady called Mavis Taylor. Do you remember Sandra? She was our not Mavis Taylor,
yes.
Mavis, she was our stage manager. Yeah. And she was asked a question at the Baxter Theatre in 1985. How is it to be stage manager to Sandra Prinsloo and John Kani? She says, it's the number 2 that give me problems, not the number 1.
It's so interesting. So we were just talking about this just before you came on air with Sandra. It's so weird calling you by your first name. Can I just say like Ms. Prinsloo? Do you mind if I continue?
Sandra.
Okay, Sandra. Perfect. It's awkward, but okay. So we were just talking a little bit earlier with Sandra about kind of the perversion of the industry. With social media and stardom being bigger than acting these days, which I think is what you're referring to, the big rider, the attention, the stagehand that has to follow me around, as opposed to the craft that I commit to the stage.
Absolutely. Now there's a very subtle question. I've just finished Murder Mystery 2 with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston in Paris. We shot in Hawaii and London.
Okay.
I'm working on another project.
Cool. I went to work in Greenpoint.
I'm just working on another project with the Disney family, which through what they call it, confidentiality clause. I cannot say more.
Okay, sure.
And now here is the situation. It's such a wonderful project to work with people who know your work, who recognize you and respect your work. In that way, then, you don't find this pretentiousness, this showing off. I was filming in Cape Town a movie, the Wallander series with Kenneth Brenner, and a South African actress was recognized by passing 2 old ladies, and they kept saying, that's her, And she says to me, Tata, these people really are in my face. And then I asked the ladies, what would you like to do? They said, oh my God, can we take a picture with the two of you? And she said, no. I said, no. Hold 1 second. I want you to take a breath. Mama, take the camera. I gave it to the crew guy. I said, now count how long it's going to take. It was me and the two old ladies and her. And it was 1, 2, 3. They took the picture, took their camera and left. 3 seconds. They asked for supporting you all their lives. 3 seconds.
Incredible. You're not getting off this call, and I know I'm late for news. Graham Robenheimer, sorry. You're not getting off this call until you tell us who the new Black Panther is, please. Is it Suri?
No, we cannot say that at all. As I told you about the confidential.
Fine. Okay, so if there's a confidentiality clause, that means you're in this next movie too.
No, I'm not. That I can tell you. Because it coincided. Also, we could not continue the Chadwick storyline.
Right.
They had to jump to another storyline because we were all part of the Chadwick storyline. So when Chadwick passed away, I was called at 2 a.m. by Lupita Nyong'o and Danai Gurira, and they said, Tata, he said, if anything happens to him, we call Tata in South Africa. And they just said, Chadwick just passed away now.
My producers don't allow me to cry on the show anymore. So don't do that. And I'm specifically not asking you too much about Chadwick because I know that you enjoyed such a special bond, and I'll ask you about Chadwick when we're face to face.
I received hundreds of condolences. I kept explaining, he's my son in the storyline of the movie. People were saying, I know you've lost your son. Oh, I'm so sorry you lost your son. I said, no, the son that was in the Black Panther with John Kani is still alive. They said, no, your other son, Chadwick. I just shut up now and said, thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank
you. South African hero. So glad that you were here together.
It's so nice.
Sandra.
Yeah. Please, the next time.
We must find something before we grow old and can't remember words.
I know. Maybe we can do a silent play then.
Outstanding.
I love you. Keep well.
Keep well, babe.
Thank you so much. The next time you're in Cape Town, I insist that you come visit us, please.
I will, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Mr. John Kani, we appreciate it. King T'Chaka.
Breakfast with Refilwe Moloto on Cape Talk.